In the cup, what?
That's
And clean, not a single foul. I thought your players
Michael yards outside his area and on his way to the dressing room. Later reflection cooled United's negative reaction to what looked a valid decision by the referee. Their immediate response could not have been more positive.
Hughes! What a save! Hughes! Goal! It's Mark Hughes! You can't take your eyes off this game for a second. There's something happening all the time. It's Kanchelskis now. Giggs to his left, so is Cantona. Can he pick one of them out? Should he pick one of them out? No, he shouldn't. Kanchelskis makes it 2-0. Cantona and Giggs are there again. And Kanchelskis through the middle, onside, put there by Giggs. And Kanchelskis goes around John Vaughan, and it's 3-0, and it's all over now. And the Russian World Cup player scores his second goal of the afternoon. Well, can charge and get back into it here. Robson, good run. Flipped on, and the header by Lieber, and it's in. They have come back.
4 days later
has not been completely without foundation since the turn of the year, but it was not for 7 by magnificent Newcastle United. Robert Lee's first ever Premiership goal made it 2-0 at halfway, but the second half must have seemed twice as long for Swindon, who've lost 20 goals in their last 4 away games now. Newcastle back in the groove, back in third place, had Will Fox's first goal for the club to celebrate too.
Norwich fans hadn't seen their team win at Carrow Road for 3 months. So there was a certain amount of euphoria last Saturday when Efene Koku's second goal put them ahead with 35 minutes remaining. Sadly for them, they peaked too soon. Queen's Park Rangers equalised, and with 20 minutes left, took the lead for the first time in the game. Trevor Sinclair's cross. Gary Penrice the scorer. The old familiar sinking feeling was confirmed when Devon White, deputising for Les Ferdinand, ran through to make it 4-2. Mark Bowen's late reply did nothing to alter the result, and on Monday, Norwich are at home again when Mike Walker takes Everton to Carrow Road.
The Coca-Cola Cup final is only a week or so away now, but Aston Villa have lost some of their fizz. They've lost 2 games in the last week. Ipswich, in need of a lift, won at Villa Park last weekend. Gavin Johnson beating Mark Bosnich from more than 25 yards. Penalty takers generally fell from half that distance against him. But Bosnich was then beaten twice on Wednesday at Ellen Road. Gary Speed setting Rod Wallace and Leeds on their way. Nothing Sean Teale could do, nothing any goalkeeper could have done. Oldham Athletic will hardly be ideal pre-Wembley opponents for Villa. Leeds are unbeaten in the month since their cup exit against Oxford. Things are looking up for Brian Deane in particular, although he had to get down to score the second against Villa.
The old saying that a team is never more vulnerable than just after it has scored was demonstrated with ruthless effect in last Sunday's Merseyside derby. Dave Watson set a captain's example in putting Everton ahead. But then, from the restart, it was a mere 9 seconds before the match was level. Ian Rush given more room for his equaliser than he'd had for most of his previous 24 goals against the old enemy. But the game was settled by a youngster returning from serious injury to mark his derby debut. Robbie Fowler, an Everton supporter as a boy, scoring Liverpool's winner in the goal at the Kop end. Now Liverpool take on Cup semi-finalists Chelsea.
When Alan Ball marked his return to Southampton with victory at Newcastle in January, you wondered if it wasn't just one of those days. But Saints have had a few more of them since. They've taken 11 points out of 18 under Ball, coming from behind last weekend after Chris Bart-Williams had scored for Sheffield Wednesday. But in the giant footsteps of past Dell centre-halves like McGrath, Nicol and Watson comes a Dutchman, Ken Moncau, like his manager, purpose-built for a battle.
When Manchester City turn their minds to coping with Sheffield United's towering Jostein Flo, they'll surely be mindful of how 3 headers undid them against Wimbledon last week. Robbie Earle eventually condemning them to their 6th home defeat of the season.
Chelsea wiped the smiles off Wimbledon faces on Wednesday, though. It's said that John Fashanu receives a healthy bonus for each goal he scores. Well, although Chelsea's David Hopkin got a touch, the look on Fashanu's face suggests he got the last one there. Maybe he'll pay Wimbledon for that one. Chelsea are riding along on the crest of a Wembley wave at present. This was their 5th successive win. Number 24, Craig Burley, just sums up their mood at the moment. Anything's possible. 8 points between them and the bottom 3 now.
As the remaining fixtures begin to dwindle, the need to win rather than just avoid defeat becomes urgent. 2 games in 3 days at Bramall Lane proved the point. Brian Deane's pass set up Gary Speed to score for Leeds. Then, as these things happen, Deane himself, who hasn't been prolific since his expensive move from Sheffield, popped in the second. He hadn't scored in the previous 12 Premiership games. But then, 15 minutes from time, a glimmer of hope for United. Jostein Flu's acrobatics, his first goal in 16 appearances. And the comeback was crowned in injury time. Brian Gale seemed to have been denied by a post, but the rebound was kind and Sheffield United stole the draw. On Wednesday night, when the weather was worse than it had been even on Sunday, a similar story. Queen's Park Rangers took the lead. Trevor Sinclair against the post, a tap-in for Simon Barker. This was a game of many chances, but only 2 goals. Just after half-time, Brian Gale's long ball fell for recent signing Nathan Blake, and the young Welshman held off Steve Yates for a cool equaliser. At the end, manager Dave Bassett could reflect on 5 games with only 1 defeat, but only 4 points from a possible 15.
The top dogs in the year of the underdog. Joe Royal's Oldham Athletic were the least fancied of the 4 Premiership teams they'd faced. But even a knee ligament injury, which has put their Norwegian defender Ture Pedersen out of the World Cup, couldn't divert Oldham from their date with destiny in the 84th minute of the quarter-final.
Oh, Patterson tried to lay it back. Here's Beckford. It's a bad mistake by Patterson. It's a terribly cruel blow, but Oldham have taken the lead.
A windswept blow football match at Stamford Bridge was badly in need of a calming influence and got it when Glenn Hoddle was called from the bench much earlier than he would have liked. It was to the liking of the Chelsea faithful, though. Hoddle, 4 months out of first-team action, looked like he'd never been away.
Early ball in from Hoddle. Wise, Burley, challenge just in time, but now the follow-up by Peacock, and Chelsea had the lead.
It was the beginning of the end for Wolves manager Graham Turner, who took them a long way, but not quite far enough. The hopes of the cup-fighting First Division now lie in the laps of Luton Town. The Old Trafford quarter-final burst into life over the dismissal of a goalkeeper. Luton could have lost Jurgen Sommer in the 5th minute if West Ham penalty claims had been upheld. No doubt the keeper got Trevor Morley not the ball, but the law demands only that it was his intent to save Morley's clever header. As fate would have it, Sommer then made the save of the night, diverting a rasper from Mike Marsh against a post. It was as close as West Ham came. Luton looked every bit as likely to win a decision in the second half. A corner from the evergreen David Priest, Telfer's flick, Linton's header, Marsh's clearance. The last time David Pleat was at Wembley was as Glenn Hoddle's Tottenham manager for the '87 Cup final. Chelsea await if Luton can prove there's still life in the underdog yet.
Well, whichever of those two make it.